Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome to the East West Show. Name is Jack on the East West Show with the G&E TV. Lots of glory and lots of proud. And I'm here for many years with audiences like my show, who like my show, writing to me like friends, especially during the holiday season. I have cars stacked up this thick on my desk already, and I have a gift, right? They're not high price value things. They're a token thing, right? Yeah. And I have a friend who sent me a big jar like this tall, of popcorns.
Yes.
Right? How good, how wonderful. And I appreciate very much to each of you. Thank you very much. To those of you who haven't signed that card yet, please go ahead, feel free to do so. I'm happy for that. Okay, kidding. All right, anyway, I love you. We all love you, me and my team. Okay, now, today, to add on top of everything already, we want to share with you some good news of our West Covina. West Covina is a wonderful city, and West Covina High is a wonderful high school. We have news to hear about, and my guest will let you know. We'll share that glory with you. My guest today is a wonderful instructor, music instructor for West Covina High School for the choir, and he is Mr. Director Tyler Wigglesworth.
That's correct, yes.
Well, a little long, but anyway,
yeah.
Director Wigglesworth will share with you the good information, the good news to my audiences as a New Year or Christmas gift.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Welcome to the show and the news, please.
Thank you. Yeah, well, thank you for having me on the show. It's wonderful to be here with everyone. And we are so thrilled because two of our ensembles, West Coveras and the Women's Chamber Choir, have been invited this coming April in 2018 to sing at Carnegie Hall in New York City.
Carnegie Hall.
Carnegie Hall.
It's a place not everybody else goes.
No, but it is quite a.
You got to be somebody to go there, right?
Well, the way it works.
I wish I could go my whole life.
Right. Well, maybe.
I never went.
Come sing with us.
All right. All right. We'll do that. Yeah. That's a very, very, very exciting news, and the enchanting part is that it's our own kids.
Yes. Yeah, and
it's our own kids, West Covina kids, right? Mm-hmm. How many are going by numbers?
Yeah, so we have 72 students going. So
72. Two ensembles you
two
mentioned,
ensembles,
right?
Yeah.
I see.
So we it is a fairly large group of students, but it's really quite amazing because many of these students have never been outside of Southern California or even West Covina.
Oh, come on, you name it. Like I said, not everybody can go.
I know, and so some of them have never even been on an airplane.
Sure, you're going to New York. There's one that's news already.
Yeah.
Going to New York, the Carnegie Hall.
Yes, yeah.
That's a different thing. That's quite a different thing, right? Good. Yeah. And those kids must be overwhelmed.
Oh, man, they are so thrilled to be haven't been invited. So we applied, and we are a part of this larger choir. So there were applicants throughout the entire country, and we were accepted to bring our students.
And how big is the submission, though?
Well, it's nationwide. So I'm not sure about how many students.
By numbers.
Oh, I'm not sure
how big.
But I know there were a lot. There were a lot of
nationwide. You're talking about hundreds of thousands.
Probably
of submissions.
Right? Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And so
when we do the Chinese American Film Festival, of course that's worldwide.
Yeah.
We have submissions of for films only. For films only, 500, 600, something like that.
Yeah.
Right. And for our Carnegie halls, I would say that. Well, the number must be.
Well, it was
crazy,
large. Right?
It
was probably large, but to have been invited after that application, it was very.
You know who is also going?
Who?
The daughter of my boss.
Really?
The daughter of my boss, Sammy Su.
Oh yeah.
Of James Su.
Oh.
And by the way, she is also from West Covina.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's so funny, right?
Yeah.
It's all West Covina. It's West Covina, West Covina.
Yes, yeah.
So, in other words, West Covina has the three folds of the glory, right? Two of your ensembles are going, right? Okay, and then Samusu is going. So always convenient.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh yeah, give them big hand. All
Yeah,
right, give them big hand. Okay,
so
now
good.
I know it is a good story to share, and it's a moment to feel excited about. But back in the making,
Yeah.
you're talking about some hard times, right?
Yeah, so I mean, the choral department. This is my 5th year at West Covina High School, and when I first arrived at the high school, we only had 70 students in the entire department, and so it was a much smaller department, and only 3 choirs in total. But you know, with lots of hard work and determination, as of last year, we had over 135 students in the department. So almost nearly doubled the department in just 4 years.
More than double. More than double. Yes.
And we now have 5 ensembles. So we have 4 choirs and an a cappella group. So it's just through those really strenuous times of hard work.
What a great achievement!
Yeah,
what a great achievement! Yeah, for 5 years. And how many students in the school, high school?
It's over 2,300, I believe. So
that's pretty large. That's pretty large, considered large, right?
Yeah.
And compared to let's say, Rosemead, to El Monte.
I don't know their numbers, but I'm.
Well, Rosemead might be a little larger, but El Monte is certainly below 2,300.
Okay.
Right. That I know. Because I've been doing lots of education programs, and I do lots of conversation with teachers, with educators, and me myself is a lover of education.
Yeah.
And to my audiences, I said this 100 times already. I want to do this still 101st time, that there's nothing that is more important to everything else than education.
Absolutely.
Because you want to pay all you can attention to education, your future as a nation or as a family lies there. To a nation, your posterity lies in the kids, in them. Right?
Yeah, the next
Otherwise, you do not have a continuation of human race. All right, you're talking about a very serious issue here, right?
Yeah.
As an educator, I know. I'd rather call you an educator. As an educator, how important do you see? I know it is important for kids to learn social economy, social science, and natural science and stuff, and for artistic science, music involved, and to your eye, an educator in the special field, though, how important it is, why important it is, please.
Yeah. So for me, music education is just, it really is one of those fundamental things that every student should be a part of. Because not only is it, there are plenty of studies that show that musicians flourish in the sciences and in the mathematics, but on top of that, especially in music education, students are able to begin to understand and have an appreciation for a common language. So we see music in all cultures throughout the entire world. And because of that, we are essentially learning a universal language, something that can speak to anyone, no matter what language you actually speak. And even more so, they begin to understand and appreciate just humanity and what that is. I remember
it's easily understood. There goes a party, right?
Yeah.
The attendees might be from anywhere.
Yeah.
And there goes a pianist, say, "You raise me up."
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum. Everybody understands the appreciation of "You raise me up."
Yeah, absolutely.
Something like that.
Absolutely.
That's international.
Absolutely.
That's UN already.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and there was, it comes to mind a story of when I was in college. I had the opportunity of touring through Germany with my choir. And I was conducting the choir in this church, and it was just an impromptu concert. It wasn't planned. There was no promotion or anything.
Impromptu.
We just did it. And I remember after we were done, this gentleman running up and just giving me a hug. And I'm like, obviously the music that I conducted spoke to him. Come to find out, this gentleman only spoke Portuguese. He didn't even understand the words that we were singing, but that music touched him and was able to create an opportunity for him to be appreciated in that
It's
moment.
a kind of like not only to instructors' eye, to regular people, to average Joe and Sue, like myself, right?
Yeah.
Who are not in the profession, we do feel the same way.
Absolutely.
We do feel the same way. Right? It's a communication without a language.
Yeah.
The tones will do it. The notes do it. Right? So that's the amazing part of it. And also by training kids in the long run to the rhythms, to an instructor's eye, what will benefit the kids in the future, please?
Well,
do you see that as a benefit?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're learning ways, especially in choir, right? So they are coming together. It's not a soloist, but they are learning to work together in ways where they may not have been able to do so prior to.
You're right.
They're learning to achieve a common goal, right? So they're becoming better citizens, better employees in the future because they're learning. It takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of us to create that ultimate goal.
And they will learn the not only discipline but the fact it is the teamwork.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like an orchestra.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right? No instrument can go solo.
Exactly.
It is the fact that they all combine
and do it together.
You do the right note to the right extent at the right moment. Everybody does that. The combination of the whole thing makes the music.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And there, of course, there might be a solo in the front. That's a different story.
Yeah.
But as for orchestra, it really works that way.
And it's the same thing with choir. If one section doesn't sing the right note or comes in at the wrong time, we've now lost the magic of that moment.
Spoil the whole food.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The whole meal.
The whole meal,
it's
right?
all gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I hope that in school or in class, you teach them not musically in this concept, but also stretch it out as a basic.
Yeah.
Right. For them to understand, it is not discipline; it's the concept.
Yes.
That makes the beauty of music. Am I right?
Absolutely, yeah. So we'll dive into the text of a piece. We'll dive into the poetry behind the piece. We want them to be really digesting every part of that music, and so it's not just okay, learn the right notes and rhythms, and then we're done.
It's a poematic study.
Absolutely, because we need to be able to. Not only are we singing the right notes and the right rhythms, but we have to communicate. And in order to communicate,
yes, of course,
we have to understand what that poetry is about, what the text is saying, why is it saying this. And so we'll go into the depth of that as well. Yeah.
All right, my dear friends, today is one of the very few chances we got a moment to touch about music, right? Music is, I'm not a musician myself, but I'm a dead fast lover to music, right? And myself too has a lot to say about how I feel the importance about music. And with me today is my good friend, Mr. Tyler Wigglesworth, and he is the director for the choir for West Covina High School, which comes along with the news that the kids, 2 choir groups are going there for 2 ensembles in Carnegie Hall, New York.
Right.
When they are going?
We're going April 2nd through the
April
7th
2nd
of 2018.
And also another piece of news that Sammy Sue is going.
Yeah.
Sammy Sue, funny, Sammy Sue is also from West Covina. So there must be something with West Covina.
Hey, there's special things happening in West Covina.
Something special,
right.
All right. Let's take a very short moment now. When we come back, we will continue finding the magic in music. How about that?
Absolutely.
Stay with us. Hello, dear friends, lovely audience. Here's my dear friends who happen to be somebody's parents, though. You're especially welcome back to the show. Today is a show talking about education, talking about a special kind of education music education, or call it musical education whatsoever. If you want to use your adjectives differently, well, that's your cup of tea. But it's music education.
Yes,
all right. Anyway, with me is the music educator. Okay.
Yeah.
And the instructor. He is the director of the choir of West Covina High, which is a big school, and which today comes along with the big news that the kids, the choir kids, are going to Carnegie Hall next spring for their 2 ensembles. They are selected amongst all the submissions, which is not easy. Not everybody goes to Carnegie Hall,
That's
right?
right, yeah.
And by the way, like I said, Sammy Sue of West Covina, right? The boss of the daughter of the boss is also going. Good news.
That's great.
There's something wrong with that West Covina.
all good things. All good things.
All right, good. So with me, Mr. Tyler Wigglesworth is sharing his mind with us, with our audiences, about how good it feels to be a director at a high school, and when his life is attached to the high schoolers, and magic things happen, right?
Yeah.
Back to the point of music, though. I really respect the fact that music education is more popular than anywhere. I don't know New Europe, but I know the comparison from between China and the United States right now. I'll give you an example. When I came here 34 years ago, there was an incident. One of the colleagues got a new house, and then for housewarming, everybody goes to the house without notice.
Yeah.
It's like a rooster or something.
Okay.
Rooster, a happy rooster or something, kind of a old tradition.
Okay.
And then knock on the door, everybody sings all right away. This as a surprise, right?
Yeah.
And that is the first moment. We never rehearsal how to sing, and nobody tells anybody what to sing.
Yeah.
All right. And then together they sang a song. I still remember the last notes.
Okay.
Jesus is the Lord, like that.
Yeah.
And then it comes to harmony, 3 ways.
Okay.
Who told them? I was so surprised. There was no training and no rehearsal, no nothing.
Yeah.
And when I check with them, they say, well, they learned that way as a kid. You're a boy, you learn the boy way. You're a girl, you learn the girl way. Something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So that is a popularization of basic music training that they have. That makes difference. So in your eye, an educator eye, of course, you're dealing with the high schoolers, right?
Yeah.
You are kind of like another step up. Right?
Sure.
And you also know, and the kids, do they know the importance?
Yeah, well, our students understand that it is very important to take music education seriously. So it's not just a playful class period, but when we come in, they are given music and they're expected to actually read it and to actually understand the notation. And it's not just a matter of me playing it at the piano and them singing it back, but they need to be able to read it and become independent musicians.
To understand thoroughly.
Yeah, absolutely. Understand everything that's on the page. And so as a music educator, that's part of what I do, is I am training them to understand
And
that.
once again, as a music educator, how selective are you in between or amongst the varieties?
Yeah, so
and nowadays you have those all kinds of music. And in some music, well, I have a hard time call it music.
Yeah.
Even including Michael Jackson, I don't think that's music.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Of course, I take different views, my personal view. Right?
No, absolutely.
Like I said, everything I say here represents myself.
Yep.
Me, myself, a personal opinion.
Yep.
Nothing to do with the show, neither with the organization.
Yeah.
And I don't think Michael Jackson does any music.
Yeah.
Right? Music doesn't include the cover of the crowd.
Yes.
That part, right?
Yeah, well, at least not that part. But
as an educator, how do you
select
teach
music.
your kids how selective you are, please?
Sure. So we go through a series within our concert series. So we put on 3 concerts in the fall semester, and then we put on an additional 3 concerts in the spring. So we're doing a total of 6 concerts. In the fall, we'll do our fall concert, which is classical repertoire.
A little question, the insertion. Who do the structuring? You as an instructor yourself?
I do, yeah.
Or there's in California curriculum system, there is a certain pattern or whatever.
Sure. So in terms of like the theoretical elements of music, and teaching that, there is state standards that I adhere to.
Okay, state standard.
But in terms of the literature, the music literature, I do the selections.
Okay, good.
And so I do all of the programming for our concerts.
In other words, it is different to have a different kind of educator. Instructor.
Sure, absolutely. So different educators will pick different literature, different music. And for us, it really depends on the concert. So for our fall concert, we're doing classical repertoire, things that would be in a festival setting. Then we'll do our coffee house concert, which is an opportunity for our students to do solos. It's just solos make up that concert, and they can do any kind of genre. It all has to be run through me, obviously. It's an audition process, and not everybody gets in. But they create it themselves. And then the winter concert, which we just finished, is kind of a little bit of everything. So we'll do everything from sacred holiday or winter music to secular, and just kind of do the gamut of that.
For the style, music style though, how selective you are.
Well, yeah, and so when we get into our Pops concert, which is our last concert of the year, that's where I'll explore some of the more popular styles, and I try, as a music educator, try and find those quality songs, the ones that are going to still allow for our students to learn something from it.
All right, very good, very good.
But our students need to, when they leave the choral department, they need to be well-rounded, because we want them to be competitive in the music industry or in the college level if they choose to go that route. And so
certainly you're selective even with the pop section.
Yeah, so not every pop song is created equal.
Not the kind of like I'm hungry, I want to eat, all I have is a chicken feet, that kind of thing. No?
Yeah, we probably won't do that. Yeah,
you won't do that, right?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Right.
So,
but somebody takes it as a music. That is the fact that is unhealthy fact to the kids. I don't think that's music. It's only.
Well, yeah, there's a merit in all of the different styles. We just have to find what that gem is. So it's all about trying to figure out what specific thing can I pull out of this genre or this style that is like the good treat for them. Because if we just do what the kids want, we're just technically eating musical candy, right? We want to give them a full course meal where they're getting the healthy stuff.
In other words, as an instructor or educator, you want to introduce them to the varieties of music.
Absolutely.
As if, as to where they want to go is their cup of tea, their own cup of tea.
Yeah.
Because the instructor's job is to introduce them, say, this is the type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, all the way from classic to pop.
Yes, and when I'm selecting music for them, I will pick the ones that I think is best out of each genre. Now, when they leave or do a solo or something, then that's when they're going to be exploring the genre even more, and that's where they get their own cup of tea.
I see. So. Do you have instrumental teaching?
We do at West Covina. I don't do the instrumental, but we have a fantastic band.
But you have in the department instrumental.
Yes, and there's a couple concerts where we'll do a collaboration. So, for instance, our pop concert. I put together a small pit orchestra that you'd find at like a Broadway show or something of that nature. And so many of our instrumental
What's your major, by the way?
My major? My major was music education with an emphasis in choral conducting.
All right, good. Yeah. So you're the one. You're the one, right?
Yeah.
With the right major doing the right thing.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
And you're lucky. Not everybody that lucky.
No,
right?
That's for sure.
Somebody with a doctorate degree in medicine goes to electricity, probably.
There's a very likely chance,
right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, very good. So, how kids respond to the way that you select you teach them?
Sure. So when every concert, I will come out and say, okay, here are the pieces that you're performing, your specific group. And sometimes our students are reluctant, especially if it's a newer piece that they're unfamiliar with in a genre that they're not familiar with. But for me, it's all about, okay, then that's my job, is to win them over, right? Because I think that there's merit, I think that there's good in this piece of music that they need to learn. And so it's about my job to then communicate that to them so that they start seeing the merit in that piece of music.
Yeah.
So.
And I said that just now. I said I would like to share with my audience, as you, of course, as the instructor. I don't know if it's the right way to do so, but to think the way I think, or it just happens to me as a particular case, right? I started poem learning when I was 3-something. Okay, it was because of my family background. I was forced to recite the poems.
Poetry,
right? Which I didn't even like, right? Which I did not even know what it's about. I believe the best thing I learned is the rhythm. Ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba, dong 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 dong, dong 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 dong.
Yep.
Another way I say da 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 da.
Yeah.
And that thing so deeply buried into me and in the blood already.
Yeah.
Every time when I listen to music, I would tentatively look for those da 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 da. Where those da 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 da.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
By doing that, I wasn't told that is a note of A. That's a A. That's a B. That's a C. Whatever.
Yeah.
I can pick up the A, C, B, B, whatever.
Yeah.
In a moment.
Yeah.
I know the note. I can even write them down.
Yep.
Like that, without the music training. So do you think altogether, as a instructor, they kind of interracial or co-functioning, or mutual functioning each other
of the poetry
and the music?
Oh, absolutely. And good composers, so people who write music, good composers will set the poetry in a way that is flattering to the poet. Right, so if they just haphazardly put these words into the music, then it's not going to fit, or it's not going to sound right. And so ultimately, that poetry has to fit with the music in order for it to be a piece that is of merit, of something that would stand the test of time.
So I was taught in the right way, without even my grandfather knowing what he is doing, what he was doing, right?
Yeah, you definitely got that rhythmic portion of music through that poetry reciting. Absolutely.
So in West Covina at high school, as the instructor, you do see that necessary, and you teach your kids that way.
So I will always go back to the poetry, and I'll have them recite it. I will have them say it according to how the composer wrote it out with the music, so that they understand it. And they understand why did the composer put the word here instead of here.
All right.
And,
Very good. Yeah. All right. And my dear audience, today I'm going back to school. I'm sitting in the classroom already.
That's right.
And thank to appreciate the fact that my friend, Mr. Tyler Wiggleworth, is sharing his experiences, his heart, his set of mind with my audiences, and the glory of teaching. And the fact is that we have the good news that the kids are going to Carnegie Hall, which is not a place everybody can go.
Yeah.
And also the fact that our Sammy Sue is going. I was even wondering that how come? What happened to West Covina? All West Covina, right?
Right.
Anyway, let's take a very short moment out. When we come back, we'll still want to dig things out from my friend Tyler, from a instructor point of view, director point of view, to see the importance of music learning. All right, good.
Absolutely.
Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences, ladies and gentlemen. If you happen to be somebody's parents, though, please be welcome back to the show. It is show discussing about education, is music education to your kid. If they happen to be high schoolers, well, this is the one we're talking about. And it's happening in West Covina. We have music instructor, music director, Mr. Tyler Wigglesworth, and his kids are going to Carnegie Hall next spring. What a glory! What a glory! That's achievement itself.
It is.
That's a medal itself.
It's incredible.
Right? The fact of going is a medal itself.
Absolutely.
Right? And congratulations to you.
Oh, thank you.
All right, very good. Now, we were talking about the music, how music functions in the early days of your childhood, right? Okay.
Absolutely.
And plus, there is always a lyric to follow, and you not only teach them the rhythm of the music, but the lyric too, and the content of the lyric, even the background of the lyric, who wrote it, why he wrote it, like that kind of thing, right? Okay, now, there is a philosophy saying that every lyric of a song should be, no question, a beautiful poem. Yet, that doesn't mean every poem can be a lyric for a song to sing.
Absolutely, yeah.
So do you agree as a music instructor? Music?
Yeah, I think that not every poem is suited to be in a song. There's obvious poets who are much more lyric or aware of how their lyrics may flow, and therefore certain poets get set into music more often. And so, yeah, I definitely think that there's a merit in that. Yeah.
There is, right?
Oh, absolutely.
There is. And I respect the fact that good songs always have beautiful music.
Yes.
I mean, beautiful lyric. That is almost a poem. You can take it out, you can sing it, you can just read it.
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Absolutely, even if it's in a different language. So for instance, this semester I've been exploring some of the African music and singing in Swahili and different things like that. And even when we're doing that, I believe that the text, that poetry should be able to stand on its own and have some merit
exactly.
within it.
Exactly. That's once again, take the You Raise Me.
Yeah.
For example, Tave takes what is that? The Life Goes On. What is that? For Titanic.
Oh yes, from Celine Dion. Yeah.
Celine Dion, right?
Life will go on and on.
On and on. It's a poem. It's a poetry itself.
Sure.
Right. It's a beautiful piece. Right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Very good. So, how do you at school teach them? I know time is changing. Time is floating too fast, right? And there are always new things popping up.
Sure.
And yet, on the other end, you mentioned Broadway. You mentioned Broadway.
Absolutely.
There is a Broadway tradition to carry.
Yeah.
All right. There is even, you push a little further, you talk about Carmen's, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You talking about the Heart of Woman or whatever. How do you translate depends, right? Okay. In other words, you have opera tradition to understand.
Absolutely.
How do you balance the teaching?
Sure.
I heard you saying just now you do the sketch of the whole plan, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
how do you sketch?
Yeah. So every year I look at the whole year, and the great thing about part of my curriculum is it allows for me to be inventive. And so every year we have what's called listening labs, and it's a way to for our students to explore new genres that they may not know. So for instance, this year we're looking at Broadway musicals and having them explore that. And I have a very, very small percentage of students who already know it and can be like, oh, I know this musical. But for a lot of them, they're being introduced We've done in years past where it's been a history of music, and we've gone from Gregorian chant to modern day. We've done operas, and we've done jazz, and so we want them to be exploring that. And one of the great things at West Covina High School is that on top of the fantastic choral department, we have an excellent musical theater department, and we put on a great musical every single year. In fact, this year we're doing Hairspray, and I get to do the music direction for them. So it's a collaboration with the theater department. So the theater department, that director directs the show, and then I musically direct the show. So
I see.
So they're getting a wide array of experiences.
In other words, you're training the kids or educating the kids whole range, full range.
We want them to be, when they come out of West Covina High School, we want them to be well-rounded musicians. We don't want them to just be good at pop or just be good at classical. We want them to be able to walk in to any situation and be able to kind of be flexible.
Yeah. So. I believe that as an instructor yourself, you could believe, I mean, you probably believe already that not every kid going to be professional.
No, and
absolutely. Yet you are stretching out a plan to teach them so systematically as if you were training professionals.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you see the core? You know, there is a core in between.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you see the core?
Well, and then there's going to be students who choose to go on and study music in college or go professionally. But I would argue that every student, whether you're going to be a business major or you're going to be in film and television or whatever, that student can gain something from having the experiences and understanding of music. And so those things that they gain can carry on into their business degree or whatever.
In my case, my loving of the rhythm never hurt my show.
No, exactly. It
never hurt my show, right?
Yeah.
It does help me on the contrary.
Yeah.
So in other words, you teach them as if they are going to be professional.
Yep.
If they choose to go, I've done my job.
Wonderful, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. If they choose not go, okay, I have equipped them with it.
Yep.
Someday, somehow, it's going to function.
Yeah, and it will play into them and into what they do.
What a philosophy. So, what a philosophy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How do the parents like that?
You know, we've...
how supportive they are to you?
Our parents are really supportive. They I think, are kind of taken aback a little bit at the amount of opportunity that our students have. Really, I think we have something very unique at West Covina High School where our students and parents have the opportunity to engage in all these different genres and opportunities because I want them to come out as well-rounded musicians.
For the trip, though, I believe you guys need money.
We do, So
you know, you're talking about a round trip for 70-something kids.
So it's $2,000 per student for the 5 days in New York.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. We need to raise $144,000.
You have a donation site?
We do. Any of your viewers could visit our donation site. It's tinyurl.com/2018 Tour.
All right.
Okay? Or you can find out more information about us
at website.
WCHSchoir.com.
Oh, you see. All right. And my audience, that's exactly the information that appears on the screen.
Yeah.
You take a note, go ahead and do your part, all right? If you happen to be parents of those kids, though, of course, you know what I'm talking about, right? Anyway, exactly. I don't have to do any add up. All right. Stay with us. We'll be right back, please. Hello, dear friends, my lovely audience, and welcome back to the show. Today, I do feel that I'm going back to school. I'm sitting in the classroom getting some music education from the instructor, Mr. Tyler Wigglesworth. And by chatting, I understand he is an instructor with lots of thoughts. And he does his job to the profound way, to the profound layer of the job. so that every kid is trained as if they are training professionals. If they in future choose to go that way, okay, I've done my job, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If they choose not to do, okay, I will equip them with it. Okay, now that's a good way to go. And I heard there is a world contest for writer song or writer. What is that?
Oh yeah, so the world premiere.
A world premiere.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So not only are we going to New York and going to Carnegie Hall, but I had the pleasure of meeting singer-songwriter Melanie Penn, who just put out
singer-songwriter Melanie Penn. Yes.
She just put out a brand new Christmas album. It's on the top of several Amazon Billboard charts, which is incredible. But I had a pleasure of meeting with her about 2 years ago at this point. And we got to talking and said we should do a collaboration. So she is currently writing a song cycle that we are then collaborating with a composer out of Kansas City, AJ Haberson, and AJ is rearranging it so that we can sing it for our upcoming spring concert in March.
I see.
The great thing is Melanie is going to actually fly out. She lives in New York. She's going to fly out for the West Coast premiere here in West Covina. We're going to have Melanie Penn in West Covina.
Okay.
And we're going to do that that premiere for our spring concert. It will be a song cycle that is for choir and solo and guitar, and she's going to play the guitar and sing solo. And so we'll get to collaborate. And then when we're out in New York, we're going to do the East Coast premiere because we're in her hometown. And we get to do one of the movements actually at Carnegie Hall, which is incredible. So she's going to be with us singing at Carnegie Hall.
It tells me that it is important to have a good instructor, and it is more important to have a good instructor who has contacts.
There you go. Yeah, the Rolodex is important still.
All right, very good. No. Okay, now there is one last area I would like to check with you. Now everybody, when school is concerned, they want to go international. And some schools even adopting Chinese learning. Yeah. Some schools even adopting some Chinese curriculums. And at the moment, when we speak, lots of expirators, they try to make some experiment in China by bringing the United States curriculum to China to have it combined or mixed with the Chinese one.
Sure.
So that they produce the third one like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Musically, I haven't seen that happen yet.
Yeah.
For example, in the Western way, you have your wind system, wind instrument. You have the percussions, and you have violins or string, whatever. And in China, they have the whole of each category.
Sure.
Right. So, as an educator, or at this time of our great century, do you think it is time to open the way for kids to learn what a Chinese 古筝 is? Boom, remember that thing? Yeah. On TV, you probably see that a piece like an L. Yeah. Okay, it's on a table with 30, 40 strings.
Okay, yes. So it's a traditional instrument, right?
Like a xylophone?
Yeah.
Like a xylophone thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think what is so interesting about music is it's not only constantly looking forward to how we can best hone our pedagogical practices, but it also always tips its hat to the past. We are always studying traditional instruments. We are always studying.
You have the Chinese flute,
absolutely,
and Chinese wind instruments such as the sona, like that kind of, with a little trumpet,
absolutely,
like a trumpet thing.
Yes.
And the erhu with 2 strings. Only 2 strings.
Yeah.
And those are the areas, probably as an educator, you want to think ahead to let your kids develop something.
Yeah.
There.
So I'm always, and that's part of when we go through and do different listening labs. I want to expose them to world music, right? So there's always, no matter what culture you go and explore, there's always a music tradition in that culture, whether it be an African or Chinese or Indian or whatever that culture may be. There's always a music tradition. And so I want our students, and I think that it's very important for all music educators, to open the eyes of the students to cultural music.
And also, we mentioned the relationship between music and the lyric, right? So I would recommend, I wish that you speak my language, which is Chinese, my mother tongue, that the Chinese language has 4 tones.
Okay.
For example, W-O, we call wo. We can do the wo, we can do wo, we can do wo, like that. When that happens to the music lyric, though, to the song lyric, I see lots of bad examples. They have foreign teachers who wrote the music. So at the end, when it comes to the rhyme, it goes in the wrong way because, for example, if it is a wo,
it's a wrong inflection.
And for example, if it goes exactly wo, and then the notes goes da 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 dee, like that,
and it goes up instead of
it goes
down.
up, going down. It's supposed to be di da da, wo di da la, like that. They go da da dee, goes up. So for kids in the future, I would say that sooner or later they're going to encounter a situation to see some Chinese language or whatever. And then to train them ahead of time, though, I recommend it's a time to start.
Oh, and whenever we sing in a foreign language, it's the music educator's job to try and make that song as appropriate to the language as possible.
To the native language.
So we want to make sure that we understand it. And so when I'm singing in German or Chinese, I'm going to go seek out that teacher on the high school campus to, okay, am I saying this correctly, or am I inflecting in the wrong way, so that I can then teach my students, okay, here's how you appropriately say it. And then often when we sing it, it will be, we try and keep it as close to speaking it as possible, but sometimes for the sake of vowels or the line, we have to, you have to elongate the vowel or whatever that.
All right. And take myself, for example, I'm still appreciative to my high school teacher. What I just explained was exactly what I learned in high school. In high school, back then. It goes me for a lifetime.
Yes, absolutely. Right?
All right, good. And thank you for understanding. My dear friend, my lovely audience, today I'm so happy that I have this opportunity going back to school to a music class to learn from my good friend, instructor Tyler Wigglesworth. And we're talking about not only music, but music education. Not only music education, but the essence of it, the significance of it in the profound layer. All right. So I believe West Covina High School is a very beautiful high school, and it's a school in length of education, and also it produces wonderful kids. 72 of them are going to Carnegie Halls. Plus another one, she goes solo. She's a soprano. She won 2 Sopranos award already. Incredible. And she's going to soprano too, Sammy Sue, the daughter of my boss, which is, I feel I'm glorified already. Okay, West Covina, wonderful city. West Covina High, wonderful high school. And to my friend Tyler, wonderful instructor.
Oh, thank you, sir.
So, thank you, my dear friends, for watching. We're a little over time, but we're okay. And to my friend Tyler, thank you very much.
Thank you.